Go live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to my final live from home show for the year, the second year, 2021. I appreciate you joining me tonight. I have a show that I hope you will enjoy, and of course, everybody. Oh, and welcome to my final live. Don't know why that's happening. That was strange. Yes, so anyway, here we go. Join in as you always do, and I hope you will. I walk out onto the moon as I gaze upon this big round night, and I wonder, as I always do, how the sun can make the moon seem so bright. 'Cause it's a mystery to me, and it's a mystery to others I can see. And it's a reflection of our bodies, of our souls, of our hearts, of our hearts. Ooh. And I walk along the Nolan Trail as it winds along the river to the sea, and I marvel at the water as it runs so deep beneath my feet. 'Cause it's a mystery to me, and it's a mystery to others I can see. And it's a reflection of our bodies, of our souls, of our hearts, of our hearts. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around you, let it rain. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around us all. Ooh, ooh. And I stand out in the morning sun, and I can feel the warmth of springtime return. And I thank my angels for another run, where I can touch the earth and taste the burn. 'Cause it's a mystery to me, and it's a mystery to others I can see. And it's a reflection of our bodies, of our souls, of our hearts, of our hearts. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around you, let it rain. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around us all. Sing with me. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around you, let it rain. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around us all. Again. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around you, let it rain. Raise your voice so high, like it's a piece of the sky. Let it rain down around us all. Let it rain down around us all. Let it rain down around us all. Ooh, ooh. I hope you were all singing. Were they all singing?
People are very happy.
Okay, good. As usual, my beautiful wife Lauren is here with me tonight, monitoring the chat, as I can't. But I just want you to know that the first thing I do when I'm done with my show, after I put away my guitars and my microphones, is I read the chat, because it's very important to me to know what you're saying and what you're thinking. And I can't respond because, of course, it's over, but that's Lauren tries to cover for me as best she can, and I appreciate that. So that, as many of you know, was the title song to my 2013 CD, A Piece of the Sky, the first CD I did after moving here to Newport News. And this next song is the title. The first three songs are title cuts. I just thought I'd do that. And this one is the title song to my latest CD, Stone by Stone, which of course is still available and makes a lovely holiday gift. So don't forget that. And this song is as I've said many times, I call this an autobiographical look at love, excuse me, through the lens of time. I had a life, it seemed so beautiful. I had a home, it was quite large. There were 2 horses and a studio, a great big fireplace, and I built the barn. 7 acres in the country. In 93, my mother died. For 7 years, somewhat numbly, we walked the pasture, stride by stride. It is amazing that life continues, and stone by stone we move along. I have a new life, it too is beautiful, and I keep the old inside my songs. I had a life, I lived in Madison. I had a home, and it was small, but it was cozy. It had a lot of sun, and I raked the leaves come every fall. For 10 good years it felt like home, until our lost love left me cold. I shoveled snow, did it all alone, and I kept my chin up, both brave and bold. It is amazing that life continues, and stone by stone we move along. I have a new life, it too is beautiful, and I keep the old inside my songs. Now I have a life near the ocean, and I've traveled far for another shot. And I have children and great commotion, and a wife, who would have thought? In all my years and all these miles, in all the shoes that I have worn, there is renewal once in a while. We die a little to be reborn. It is amazing how life continues, and stone by stone we move along. I have a new life, it too is beautiful, and I keep the old inside my songs. Thank you. So I got to show you something. Before I do this, the title song from my 2015, 18 album. I have to show you something. I picked this today. December 2nd. It's beautiful, but it's not right. And Lauren brought up this. She picked this on Thanksgiving Day. And look at it now. Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Same rose.
Same bush. Not the same row, same bush. Same. Ow! Just poked me. Didn't like being moved. I mean, it's gorgeous, but it's wrong. And what are the poor roses, they want to sleep. They need to sleep so they can produce again. They're old roses, yeah. No, they're old roses. They were here when Lauren bought the house. They were here. We've nurtured them and they produce beautifully, but they should be, resting now. And as I've said before, we'll probably still have roses in January. Although, it was almost 70 degrees today. And it's going to be 70 degrees on Monday. And then 49 degrees on Tuesday. So it's just, the weather is very erratic. And it has nothing to do with climate change, of course. Fall is showing up much later this year. Roses blooming in November. I picked tomatoes from the garden last week, and I did. Another unseasonable season. Peppers red and hot and dropping to the ground. And I've got a fall crop of zucchini. It's still too soon to rake the autumn leaves. Another unseasonable season. Did you notice that the hurricanes are fiercer? Tornadoes tearing up and ripping our towns. But let's go driving through the countryside. Gas is much cheaper these days. Well, I bought some apples, not a blemish to be found, though the limes are hard and thready. And does the rice seem more expensive than before? Another unseasonable season. And did you notice that we had more rain, though other states are deep in drought? Still, let's go driving through the countryside. Gas is much cheaper these days. Should we go out and buy a brand new truck? Hell, the rates are really low. We could drive across the state so fast and outrun the storm that's about to blow. Did you notice that the hurricanes are fiercer? Tornadoes tearing up and ripping our towns. Still, let's go driving through the countryside. Gas is much cheaper these days. Fall is showing up much later this year. Roses blooming in November. And I picked tomatoes from the garden this week. It's so unseasonable these days. Thank you. Of course, things have changed since 2018. Gas isn't so much cheaper these days, and you can't buy a new truck necessarily because we can't get chips. Everything is stalled. People are, like, the used car market is booming. It's just craziness. And one other thing I just thought about as I was singing that song, I'm not supposed to be thinking about anything but the song, but when I moved here in 2012, that first Thanksgiving, the yard was completely covered in leaves, and I had the kids, there were 3 of us at the time, rake the leaves and take them out to the curb. And about 3 days ago, we had a huge windstorm, and I was watching the trees. I'm thinking, oh, all the leaves are going to fall now, but none of the leaves fell, just a handful, because they're not ready to fall. Did I was standing in the bathroom is the word I'm looking for. The bathroom window, and it was like they weren't falling. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just, yeah, everything. Anyway, so this next song is a song I haven't done in a while. It's one of my favorite love songs, even though it's couched in a bit of sadness. And I haven't done it in a while. Only because there's so many songs. You can only choose so many. And this one kind of just kept slipping through the cracks. And I was going through my list, and I thought, oh, I haven't done this song in a while. And I truly love this song. And it came out of a great hardship, because I wrote this. I wrote it. It actually was written in, I think, 2014. I believe it's on Rembrandt Afternoons, or is it on? No, I think it's on.
Which one?
Rembrandt Afternoons. So like around but it was about a time in my life in 2009, 2010, when I was leaving a 10-year relationship. Not willingly, although I should have known that I should be leaving willingly. It was definitely a relationship that was not working out, and had broken my heart terribly, and I was scared, because I was turning 60, and I thought, how can I start over again at 60? And I could not fathom living alone for the rest of my life. And so I tried to hang on to that relationship, but there was no way I was going to hang on to that relationship. But lo and behold, Lauren walked into my life, and that's a lot of what this song is about. Is leaving that sadness to find this great joy. And we met in January of 2011. She produced a house concert, and as many of you have heard before, we did the show. I left. 2 months later, I emailed her, and 800 emails later, I went to see her in April of 2011. And we visited each other once a month for the rest of the year. Mostly I would come here because I wanted to see what the weather was like, and if I thought I could live here, just in case it worked out or something. And then a couple times Lauren came to Madison to see me, and this was one of the times, and I love this photograph. Oops. This photograph was taken on December 2nd, 2011. And this was 4 days before Lauren's birthday. And I threw her a birthday party in the condo where I was living, and invited a whole bunch of friends who just fell in love with Lauren. So this was 4 days before her birthday, because her birthday is Monday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lauren. Happy birthday to you. But isn't that, this was after the party when she was giving me a foot massage. It was so fabulous. But, you know, look at the joy on our faces. We still have that joy. It's a more settled joy now. But this is the song. It wasn't that long ago, I was so all alone, sitting on a love seat, waiting by the phone for the call that never came from the one who didn't show. Wasn't sure what was happening, but now I know. It wasn't that long ago, but time does move along. When you think you can't sing, you find a better song. And in the singing you find comfort, in the song a brand new show. Wasn't sure what was happening, but now I know. 'Cause it was you behind the curtain, you I hadn't met. And when I finally did, you were the one I'd not forget. It was you who threw the lifeline as I headed out to sea. What good comfort you found. Cause it was you behind the curtain, you I hadn't met. And when I finally did, you were the one I'd not forget. It was you who threw the lifeline as I headed out to sea. What good fortune you found. It wasn't that long ago, I was so all alone, sitting on a love seat, waiting by the phone for the call that never came from the one who didn't show. Wasn't sure what was happening, but now I know. Thank you. It's funny, I usually, in concert and even in live stream concerts, I don't usually look at Lauren, because when I do it, it always just kind of flutters me and I lose my place sometimes, and I sang a wrong word. It wasn't a bad word. What did I say? Comfort. You said comfort. Comfort instead of fortune. But it's good. It's settled. Good. Yeah, it's settled, right? So this song I have never done yet in one of my live stream shows. And I'm doing this because it is one of Lauren's favorite songs, and so this is one of her birthday gifts. One of her less expensive birthday gifts. It's priceless. It's a priceless birthday gift. It's a song that it's a song I really love, but I just never think about doing it. It's a hard song to sing. and play, but I am going to attempt it tonight. And it's a song that is loosely based on the medicine wheel in Wyoming, which is near the crest of the Bighorn Mountains. It's Bighorn Medicine Wheel National Monument and National Park right now. It is in south central Wyoming, about 12 miles from the Montana border. It's an amazing place to go. It is 10,000 feet in the air. 10,000 feet, yeah, altitude. And the funny thing is, Chris and I went there in, I think, probably the 80s, maybe the early 90s. A fantastic trip, but a very funny trip, because we had a motorhome at the time. We had a 4-cylinder Toyota motorhome. It was called the Huntsman. It was a little Toyota 4-cylinder cab with a 20-foot house on the back. And can you imagine climbing 10,000 feet in that? It was a very slow journey, but we did make it. It wasn't as scary going up. It was just time consuming, but coming down was kind of scary because, it was it's a little truck with a big house behind it, and you got, brakes for a little truck. But it was a fantastic trip, and when you get up to the top, you have to park. The parking lot is like about half a mile from the medicine wheel, and you have to walk the rest of the way straight up. But they've done that because you cannot drive to the wheel anymore because of vandalism. In fact, the whole medicine wheel is now enclosed in a chain link fence, as is Stonehenge, if you've ever been there. You cannot go into Stonehenge or anywhere near it because it is because of vandalism. Now, who in their right mind would vandalize a sacred place? Well, we won't go there because of what's happening these days. Everything that's sacred is being destroyed in so many ways. I mean, I can't even talk about what's going on in the Supreme Court right now because I'm not going to go there. No. But anyway, but when you get to the medicine wheel, you can walk around the perimeter of the chain link fence, and along on the fence, people have tied strands of fabric, bandanas, jewelry, whatever they can tie to the fence as a gift. And I found that just magnificent. And you're standing looking out over all of Wyoming and Montana. It's pretty spectacular. So this is loosely based on that, but also it's based on another wheel. This one, which I am behind a lot of my life. And actually, gratefully so. I do love to drive. It is part of my life. Halfway down the highway, I stopped to stretch my mind. And as I looked down that long road, my shadow crossed the center line. I don't always know where I am going on this troubled cobble trail, but I hope I win your heart today, 'cause tomorrow I may fail. So I take this wheel and I walk along the edges. I leave a little bit of me everywhere I go. And I take this wheel, I hope it takes me home, 'cause I know that home is you. And halfway across this country with another state of mind, I never see the boundaries, though they cross me all the time. And I always know where I have been, burdened by the border. And I hope I hold your heart today, 'cause tomorrow's a new order. And I take this wheel and I walk along the edges. I leave a little bit of me everywhere I go when I take this wheel. I hope it takes me home. I know that home is you. And halfway through my life, with another map in hand, I once more cross the road and cross another land. And I feel much less afraid as I move on down the line. I hope that you will trust our love, 'cause this life is yours and mine. So I take this wheel and I walk along the edges. I leave a little bit of me everywhere I go. When I take this wheel, I hope it takes me home, 'cause I know that home is you. Screwed up one thing.
I know.
I haven't done it in a while. It's okay. Nobody would have noticed unless I said something. Well, before I switch guitars, which I'm doing right now, it's time for my public service announcement. Because, as you know, this is how I make my living mostly. I did have the great privilege and pleasure of going down to Florida. I did several shows this fall, more than I thought I was going to be able to do. I did a very short stint in the Midwest in October, just a few shows, and then a show in Maryland with Lynn Hollyfield, and we're going to do another show in Maryland in February because we had so much fun. Also, I want to mention I'm doing a show, hopefully, depending on, of course, Omicron, in January, on January 8th in Rehoboth Beach. So if you're on the Eastern Shore, come see Christine Havrila and myself. We did a show last year, a virtual show in Rehoboth Beach, a Valentine's show. But we're doing a live show at the MCC Church, hopefully. This is all, everything is up in the air always. But anyway, I did get to go to Florida, and that was fantastic. I had 5 shows and a live stream show in Skokie, Illinois for Sandy at the St. Tim's Coffee House. But I will not be touring much at all until April. So I'm relying on my shows to keep me going, and I appreciate so much how you help me in that respect. So if you want to help tonight, as you know, and let me put this up just because I can. But I also like to have my piece of paper. TretFure.com/concerts. You can pay a ticket price of $15 or $20 if you just go to that page, and you'll see where you can click the PayPal link. You can also just go straight to PayPal, paypal.me/Tret Fure, and you can pay any amount. Or Venmo, I'm just Tret-Fure. And you can also, of course, send a check, and the address is in the top of the chat. I put that in before I start singing. Also, I also have a Patreon page, and I am so incredibly grateful for all my patrons who donate, as small as $3 a month. And it helps me so much when I get that check. I cannot tell you, and I cannot thank you enough. And also my store page, which is tretfure.com/links. And on the store page, you will find my CDs. And there's still a little bit of jewelry left, but it's going to be, I'm leaving it up for a couple more weeks, but it's going to be down. It's going to be gone by Christmas. What doesn't sell, I'm sending back to the woman who's created the jewelry, because it's not something I'm going to continue, but it's lovely jewelry. There's mostly earrings left and a few bracelets. It's all made from my used guitar strings, and it's been fun, and it has sold well, but it's just jewelry's too fidgeting for an old dyke like me, so it's well, that's how it feels. So anyway, that is my pitch. Thank you so much. And of course, don't ever feel like you have to. Don't ever feel guilty if you can't contribute. As I always say, I just love bringing music to you, and I love doing these shows. It keeps my soul intact, and it keeps me attached to you as well, and connected to you. So the next two songs are new songs. One I have not performed on my live stream shows. I just recently put up a video about it. It's a song that I entered into a songwriting contest. I had entered last year. Ron Cook, who is a DJ from Las Cruces, New Mexico, who has a nonprofit called A Still Small Voice for You, has run a songwriting competition for the last several years. And last year he contacted me to see if I wanted to enter. And you had to write a song about either monuments or Black Lives Matters or some social justice issue. And I wrote my song Monuments, and I won the competition with that song. Nice thing is there are cash prizes involved. So this year he contacted me, which I really appreciated because I would not have known about it. And this year you had to write a song that somehow referenced, either literally or figuratively, the phrase "louder than the guns," which is a line from a Phil Oakes song, When I'm Gone, which is one of his most beautiful songs, although everything Phil wrote was amazing. So you didn't have to write, it didn't have to be in the song, you didn't have to be the title or anything, but it became my title. I was sitting out back on my deck in September. It was a beautiful day, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to write about. And this stuff that's in this song had been going through my head, as it still is. And this is what came out, and I won second prize with two other wonderful songwriters. It's called Louder Than the Guns. Thomas rants about his civil rights like I've taken them away. He's shouting about his freedom, and it's louder than the guns. He says I can't tell him what to do like I would on any day. He screams at me through angry eyes, and it's louder than the guns. Nate works at the post office, and he's refused to wear a mask. He shrieks, "You'll never make me," and it's louder than the guns. They tell me I don't need it, so you won't be taking me to task. His words spit out like poison, and it's louder than the guns. Louder than insanity, louder than your reasons, louder than compassion, and it's sounding more like treason. Louder than your patriotism, louder than your faith. What's happened to your heart? There's just a big old empty space. Hope won't get a vaccine, it's a government conspiracy. Swears at me across the room, and it's louder than the guns. It doesn't matter what you tell me, because it isn't my priority. She yells, "God will take good care of me," and it's louder than the guns. louder than insanity, louder than your reasons, louder than compassion, and it's sounding more like treason, louder than your patriotism, louder than your faith. What's happened to your heart? There's just a big old empty space. Louder than the guns, shamefully louder than the guns. And what I really want to say is that it's not just about you. I want to scream it all right in your face till it's louder than the guns. But there's nothing I can do and nothing I can say till you hear the cries of the dying that is louder than the guns, louder than insanity, louder than your reasons, louder than compassion, and it's sounding more like treason, louder than your patriotism, louder than your faith. What's happened to your heart? There's just a big old empty space. Louder than the guns. Thank you.
Catherine wants to know when you're going to be back in Florida.
I might be back in Florida in February, but I probably not. I'm trying to put, but it wouldn't be down in southern Florida. But I'll be back. So this is another new song, one that you have heard several times. Now, I went in the studio when I was up in Maryland for the show I did with Lynn Hollyfield, and I went in the studio with my wonderful engineer, co-producer, Charlie Pilzer, and I recorded Louder Than the Guns and Peanut Butter Toast, this song, and one other song which I'll do in a little bit. And I don't know when I'm going to be doing another CD because I have like a handful of songs, but not enough for a CD. And I have to do all the fundraising and everything for that before I can do one. But I'm thinking of figuring out how to put up single songs on my website that you can buy MP3 downloads if you want these songs now. And I'm sure Goldenrod would be happy to help me with that as well. Oops, that's the wrong cable. I know because Goldenrod does digital downloads. But I'd like to make these songs available. They will, because when I do Peanut Butter Toast for the album, it'll probably be with an arrangement, with some drums and bass and a little bit of instrumentation. Not a lot. But this song seems to be becoming very popular. I love it. I want to also do a little video, but I don't want to do just one of my silly little videos. I want to do some kind of an animated video, but Terry, you're going to help me with that, right? She's already told me about a company that does great stuff. I think on my Facebook page, I put up one of Terry Scheinzeit's animated videos from this company that she worked with. It was awesome. It's just and it was an awesome song too. Anyway.
How much does the CD cost? Like $20,000?
CD costs anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000, which includes manufacturing, and that includes a physical CD. If I don't do a physical CD for the next one, that'll drop at least $5,000. I mean, that'll bring it down, not $5,000, maybe $4,000. But it's expensive, and I work efficiently. But I, pay my musicians well, And there's a lot more involved. There's, radio promo and all that kind of stuff that's involved as well. I would love to do another physical CD. I don't know if it's viable anymore. I know my audience still loves CDs, and as long as you do, I'll try to keep doing them, but it adds a chunk of money. So this is peanut butter toast. Well, the side door opens and you walk inside. I say, hey baby, what you doing? You've been in so many meetings that you're bleary-eyed. I say, hey baby, how you doing? It's cold out there, won't you come to me? I'll hold you till you're warm in the center. I'll hold you all through the winter. It's been the longest year that has ever come. I say, hey baby, don't you think it? 12 months and counting and we're still not done. I say, hey baby, don't you think it? I went down to the corner just to get away, and I ran right back to your embrace. I had to see that smile on your face. So give me a little of your coffee, give me a little of your time. Make me some toast in the morning, put a little peanut butter on one side, and I'll give you a little of my love, and I'll give you even more of my heart. Make sure that you write me a letter when we next find ourselves apart, 'cause I don't ever want to lose your love. Well, how about we go down to the sushi bar? I say, hey baby, wanna do it? Put on a sweater and get in the car. I say, hey baby, wanna do it? We can sit at the counter where there's no one else and have a little bit of private conversation, the closest thing to a vacation. So give me a little of your coffee, give me a little of your time. Make me some toast in the morning, put a little peanut butter on one side, and I'll give you a little of my love, and I'll give you even more of my heart. Make sure that you write me a letter when we next find ourselves apart, 'cause I don't ever want to lose your love. Well, every day feels the same, even though every day is new. You and I are the lucky ones. You've got me and I've got you. Well, pretty soon we'll be swimming in the deep blue sea. I say, hey baby, can you feel it? Take off your mask and jump in with me. I say, hey baby, can you feel it? We'll remember those days, we'll remember these nights, because we never really want to forget. It's brought us closer together, you bet. So give me a little of your coffee, give me a little of your time. Make me some toast in the morning, put a little peanut butter on one side, and I'll give you a little of my love, and I'll give you even more of my heart. Make sure that you write me a letter when we next find ourselves apart, 'cause I don't ever want to lose your love. No, I don't ever want to lose your love. That's right.
Instead of commuting 2 hours a day.
Yeah, Lauren just said that's when she was working from home. Well, most people were working from home last year. And God forbid that we have to go back to that. I think, the good thing is the variants are weakening, but they're still keeping the hospitals full, the ICU full. mostly of unvaccinated people. But, you know, we don't know. These variants are dangerous. We don't know. Now Lauren drives to Norfolk to go to work. And works for the LGBT Life Center, which is a fantastic thing, I think. I'm so happy for her. So this song is a request from my dear friend MK. I didn't put out for requests, so you didn't miss something. She just texted me and said, you know, can I make a request? And I said, well, you can. I don't know, and she requested "Welcome to America," and I haven't done that in a while. So I thought I would do that for her and for all of us. It was a song that came out of one of my Whidbey Island workshops, boot camp workshops. This particular year, you had to write a song from a photograph, and I brought a slew of photographs that people had to choose from. I think. Oh, and you also had you had to pick a photograph, and then you had to pick. I think it was 7 or 8 words out of a paper bag, and you had to include those words as well. So what I picked, and I did this ahead of time, just to make sure the exercise worked, is, and someone else actually picked this as well and wrote a song about it. This is a photo of my Italian grandparents. Look at how fierce my nun was. Well, both of them. They're so fierce. And think about this. He died at 62, so they're like probably 60. I'm 70. Look at how different time people were in those times. Pretty amazing. But my nun, I love, you know, she always had the black coat and the hat, right? And she used to, when Papa died, she became the ward of her daughters, and she would winter, spring, and fall in Yonkers, and she would summer with us in the Midwest, whether, you know, in Iowa, Chicago, northern Michigan. She'd always come by train, and we'd always pick her up at the train station, and she'd always be wearing a black coat, but longer, like a black woolen coat and a black pillbox hat. And you could pick her out. Yeah, I mean, she was 4'8" by 4'8", but she was the only one wearing a winter coat. So it was just, she was amazing. But, you know, so that's after they had been there for a while. And this is one of the earlier photos. That's my, my grandfather. It's backwards, so I can't really do it. It's the other way. Get my fingers over there. That guy right there. That's Papa, and that's my Uncle Jim next to him. My grandmother's in there. I mean, this was like an Italian meal in the Bronx, an Italian dinner with all the relatives. But one other photo I'll show you, because this song is about when they came to America in 1928. My mother was 8 years old, and this was her immigrant. This is an original. This is her immigrant identification card. This is my mom at 8 years old. And it's so interesting because I looked so much like her when I was that age. I have a photo that I couldn't find. I know it's somewhere, where I look so much like her in this photo. Huh?
Looks like
I know, doesn't it? Exactly. It looks like my nephew, my oldest brother's son. Very much so, the dark eyes and everything. But this is pretty cool to have. You know, I cherish this. But so an interesting story about when my grandparents, before how they married, because it's this is amazing to me. So my grandmother, Rosaria Diomede, had a brother. I don't know his name, but he was a professor. So it was Dr. Diomede. And he was dating my grandfather's sister, my grandfather Cosenza's sister. And the parents, my grandfather's parents, encouraged the marriage because they thought she was marrying a doctor. Because she was marrying a doctor. But they were thinking medical doctor, money. They were seeing dollar bills. And they got married, and then they realized he was a professor. He was a professor. And it wasn't the kind of income that they were hoping to be supported by. So when my grandmother and grandfather started dating, my grandfather's parents said, no way, this is not happening. We are not going to be duped again. You are not marrying someone else from that someone else from that family is not going to be in our family. So what did they do? old world Italian Catholic, they got pregnant and they had to get married. And I just think that's
Brilliant.
just fantastic. I mean, we're talking 1900 or 1900 or something like that. Or 1910. I don't know exactly. My mom was 8. She was born in 1920. She was the third. So, probably between 1900 and 1910. It's pretty risque. So anyway, this is about coming to this country. Now, my grandfather came here first, as many men do, from not just Italy, but from all countries when they move to another country and to find work, to make money, to send for their family. Sometimes they forget about their family because they get comfortable in this new life. It's happened too many times. So, it sure still happens today. But my grandmother was having nothing to do with it, and she forced my grandfather to finally come back. And he came back, and a year later they all came. But this also references the fact that, the way we treat immigrants is nothing new. This has been going on for centuries. God knows when they met, sometime during the war. A flame flared up quite quick when he walked in the door. A fantasy unspoken, she was charged and she was sure. For they walked right up to each other forevermore. Married soon, I know, but when, I really can't say. 'Cause they've left us all and gone off to another place. But they bore 3 gorgeous children on that Adriatic Sea. Well, they walked right up to each other, it was meant to be. Oh, those old memories, oh, those old days. And all I have is this photo and what little I've learned from a lower class and a poorer life and a mighty strong will. They made their way to America. Papa, he came first, and he forgot to go back. And a nun wouldn't speak to him, she was so mad. And she finally wrote, "Get home for us now, or don't you bother to come." So he got right back to his family, afraid they were done. Oh, those old memories, oh, those old days. And all I have is this photo and what little I've learned from a lower class and a poorer life and a mighty strong will. They made their way to America. All alone in a world they don't know, in a neighborhood that hated them for their differences. But they managed with each other and grew strong despite the spite. Welcome to America. Papa died at 62. He had a bad heart. At 83, Nunun played her last card. But from the photos you would have thought they were much older than their days. But that generation wore time in a different way. Oh, those old memories, oh, those old days. And all I have is this photo and what little I've learned from a lower class and a poorer life and a mighty strong will. They made their way to America from a lower class and a poorer life and a mighty strong will. They made their way to America. Thank you. You know, it's already 9 o'clock and I still have 2 songs, so I just do one more.
I'm sure we'll hear comments now.
I'm a little chatty tonight. I think I usually do 9. I put 10 songs in tonight for some reason. Does anybody, I mean, if you need to leave, leave. But does anyone want me to do both songs or should I just do one more?
Oh my God.
What?
No, there's just going to be like 50 comments now. Well, there's a lot of hand clapping. People like.
All right, this is my last show of the year, so I'm gonna go ahead and do both.
Yeah.
I always run my shows and time them, and I knew it was gonna be close.
Yeah.
But I think I went on.
Singing. 2. Great concert. Keep on singing. 2.
All right. They'll be quick. This song is actually very short. This is the other new song. I have like 5 or 6 new songs, and one of these shows next year I'll do the Nurses song again. But this is my There's No Place Like Home, Virginia song. Because a lot of people, wondered why I would move to Virginia. I mean, I've lived so many places. I mean, I lived 6 places before I left home. Iowa, Chicago, Marquette, Michigan. Then I went to Berkeley, San Francisco, or Berkeley, California. Then I went to New York. Then I went back to San Francisco. Then I went to LA. Then I moved to Oregon. I lived in Vida, Oregon, Marcola, Oregon. Then I moved to Madison, and now I'm on the East Coast. And Virginia's a great state. I live in Southern Virginia where it's hot. Some people say, how can you live there? And I say, why not? It's as good a place as any that you might try. And it's where my honey lives, and now so do I. I live in one of those political hot spots. My friends say, how can you do that? And I say, why not? It's as good a place as any that you might try. And it's where my chosen family lives, and now so do I. It's a place that I can call my own. As long as I am happy, as long as I am not alone. There's no place I would rather be than this home. I live below the Mason-Dixon line. Some people say to me, really? And I say, it's just fine. It's as good a place as any to live and die. And it's where my heart belongs, and now so do I. It's a place that I can call my own. As long as I am happy, as long as I am not alone. There's no place I would rather be than this home. There's no place I would rather be than this home. Thank you. Oops. All right. So people have said to me, "Why did you move? What took you to Virginia?" And I said, "Love." There are 3 reasons why we move. Mainly 3 reasons, I would say, why we move. One is love, one is work, and one is adventure. And all 3 of those require a leap of faith, which is the song I'm going to close with. But before I do the song, this is also a song I have not performed. I did it at a church service in Florida. I just want to thank you so much for coming to my shows. Many of you come every time, and I can't tell you how much that means to me. I really, truly appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing this probably for the rest of my life. I mean, I might as well. I mean, I'm reaching people that I can't on tour. I'm looking forward to touring more in 2022, I hope. I do have some tours set up. I have to update my website. But there's not much happening, as I said, till April. So I will be setting up a show sometime, probably the second week. If I'm doing this show with Christine Havrila on January 8th, I'll probably do a show the following week. But it all depends on Omicron, of course. And I don't know. But thank you so much. I'm going to tell you right now, I won't be doing a holiday show. It's too much right now. I've got paintings I have to get done. I've got a party to cook for Lauren. We've got a work event. There's just a lot going on. I don't see how I could get a show together. And the 3 Thursdays from now is like the 23rd. It's too close to Christmas. So I apologize for those who were hoping for a holiday show. Hopefully next year I'll have more time to plan. But thank you all so much. It was a long road, it was a long time, it was a long way around. It struck mine, it was the way that I was looking at the things I couldn't see. It was the way that you were looking at me. It was a late night, it was a late fall, it was a late hour to make a late call. It was the things that I was hearing and the things I couldn't see. And it was the way that you were looking at me. Well, sometimes it takes a miracle, sometimes it takes a stand, sometimes it's quite empirical, and sometimes it's so grand. But most of all, it needs to be a sudden leap of faith. It's a leap of faith. It was a new dream, it was an old car, it was a back road and a bright star. And it was the things that I was feeling and the things I Sometimes it's rude awakenings, and sometimes it's about time. Sometimes the earth is shaking, sometimes the world is mine. But most of all, it needs to be a sudden leap of faith. It's a leap of faith. It was a lifeline, it was a long rest, it was a lifelong dream and a hard test. And it was the things that I was bearing and the things I couldn't see. It was the way that you were looking at me. Well, sometimes it takes a miracle, sometimes it takes a stand, sometimes it's quite empirical, and sometimes it's so grand. But most of all, it needs to be a sudden leap of faith. It's a leap of faith. And this is what I know, and this is what I see. It was the way that I was looking at me. Woo! Thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday season. I will see you next year. Take care, please.